Hey everybody, this is Andrew Kaiser with andrewkaiser.com and welcome to the CSS tutorial page. This is the first video of the series. There's going to be a lot. There's not going to be any specific order other than this being first if you want to start learning how to. Chances are if you already know CSS and you're just looking to get better, you can probably just go ahead and skip forward because this is the introduction. So now that we've decided that, okay, it's time to learn CSS. That's great. That's great. Now, just give me 1 second to clean out all this crap. Save that. And, okay, that'll be good. Whoop. Okay, so, I'm waiting for my package to show up. So it might come here in the middle of the video. I hope it does. Generally, I don't like things to disturb me, but in this case, I'll make an exception. Okay, so CSS. First thing you want to do is inside of your CSS file, you need to understand that there are 3 parts to a CSS, style. There's a selector, there's a style property, and there's a style value. And the syntax is all relatively simple, it's basic, nothing complicated, and we'll jump right in with how to select an HTML tag. And that's really simple. You just type in the tag name without the carets around it, the little brackets. So let's say we wanted to select the body tag. All you type in is body. And then all the elements, all the style properties and all the style values are nested within these 2 brackets. Now, a lot of people will use multiple lines to define each each property to its own line. It's really good to do that for ease of reading and just being able to find things faster. I started this way when I first began. It wasn't until a few years later that I switched over to the single line, and I stuck with that ever since. But for these videos, since we're beginners, I'm gonna try and stay on top of the multiple lines. Okay, so what is a CSS? What's a style property? It could be anything from like the background color, the text color, the border, the margin or padding, the font size. All those things are properties that can be styled upon, and any element can get any of those styles. So I mean, you can imagine these things can get pretty long, but for an example, we're just going to use the background color property. So that's just going to be a quick background dash color and then colon, because that defines the property right there. That colon is the end of the property. Everything after that is going to be the value. Now, the value with the background color is a 6-digit hexadecimal code that goes with a color. Now, the more and more you use CSS, the more and more you'll memorize these little numbers. Now, you can type out just red, black, white, blue, but each browser will render those differently, and so it's generally a good practice to find out what that hexadecimal number is and then just use that. So for this example, we're going to turn the background color to red. So you're going to start with the pound symbol, and I will type in FF and then 4 zeros. I know that's the style for red because I've been using it for 10 years. It hasn't changed. So now we go back to our page that we have the basic HTML on and refresh. Now you can see our HTML has stayed the same, but the looks of the website has changed. That's the that's the biggest thing about CSS, is that it separates the design from the content. Keeps the HTML very clean and allows you to do pretty much anything you want with it. Okay, so now in my HTML, you see that I have some P tags, and one with a class, and one with an identifier. So we're going to learn how to select those now. Class is real easy. Yeah, well, I guess they both are real easy. But anyways, so to select a class, you start with a period, and then you type in that class name. And in this case, it was second. Now, you open up your brackets again. Now, just to show you, if there are multiple, okay, so I have multiple class seconds. Now, let's say we want to do font weight bold. You know, I'll get into all the element or the style properties later. I'm just kind of showing you how to work with CSS and what certain things do. Much more detailed instructions on all that other stuff later. Cancel. I just meant to save that. So now when we come here, when you select the class, it applies those styles to every single element that has that class there. So you see there I have 3 that are now font weight bold. So that's pretty cool. It comes in handy a lot. Now, let's say we wanted to select the identifier. The ID equals third. Now, IDs you're only supposed to have one of on each page. So this element is only going to get this style. Unless you have multiples of the same identifier, which is not valid, you should probably change that and fix that. But other than that, only one element should be getting this. And to select it, you start with the pound sign, and then you just type in the identifier name, which in this case was third. We'll open up our brackets, and we'll give it a text decoration, underline, and there it is. It shows right up right there. Now, the next step, multiple styles. After this little line ender right there, that tells CSS that this property is complete. Move on to the next. So we're gonna go ahead, we can come in here and say font size 30 pix. Enter, let's say border equals 1 pix solid black. Okay, the border did not work. Okay, but anyways, you can see how that goes. We'll change the color to white. So now you just type out the styles attributes and their values, and you just go on from there. Everything between those brackets will get applied to that selection. So if you have, all this code inside of this body selector, now all that text is going to get changed. And you can tell real quick how things can start getting crazy. Okay, so one last thing is very common. Let's say we have a div class equals second, and then p, this is some other dummy text. Okay, so instantly it's going to apply that because it has the class of second. But what if we only want to apply that style to the paragraph tags? This is when multiple selectors, or you can nest your selection just like you can nest your code. So if we type in p.second, that'll only apply it to the paragraph tags with the second tag, second. So we could also go up here and do .second p, and that'll only affect the tags that are nested underneath a class of second. So like the same way you order that, and I mean this is pretty much the same as saying div dot second, and then the P in between it. That's the only one getting bold now. So, you know, if you want to select a specific element and class, you can do that, or we can, you know, change it up to P, and now all of our things are getting styled like that. So I mean, CSS is very powerful, and in this short little video I've already shown you a lot of different things to kind of get the ball rolling. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me an email, hit me up on Skype, call my phone, I don't care. Just you know, make sure to ask your question, because I want to help you, and I want to get you in the right direction for making really good CSS and clean cut CSS. Okay, so hope you enjoyed the intro, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the other videos. Thanks a lot for watching. AndrewKaiser.com. Peace out.